Hey guys, welcome back to another Wednesday video. So it's been a while since I actually spoke to you in my echoey dining room. So hopefully for this video you're just gonna have to accept the echoiness and the birds tweeting outside. But hopefully that's okay. So today's video is all about yoga props, and I just wanted to give you a quick run through of the yoga props I use and the ways in which, or some of the ways in which I use them. There are so many ways to use all of these props, so I'm not going to go into huge amounts of depth on each one, but I'm going to give you a few ideas and yeah, just talk about props in general. So I think that there's a little bit of a stigma attached to using blocks in a yoga class, especially group yoga classes. I find that people are reluctant to want to use them because I think maybe people feel like it's associated with not being good enough or maybe failing at the posture if you have to use a block, but it's not about that. I honestly, when I see my students going to pick up blocks and using them, even when I haven't said you can use a block here, it makes me so happy because it makes me aware that they know their own body and that they know what works for them. And I think that that's so important because ultimately we're all here for ourselves, right? We all do yoga for ourselves. So it's really important that we look after ourselves and we do what feels right for us. So the first prop that I'm going to talk to you about is one that you'll have most definitely seen or used, and that is the block. So I've got an array of different brands here. One of my favourite brands, which I actually talk about a few times in this video, is Yogi Bear. She's a friend of mine that I went to school with, so this is in no way being paid to say this, but she is awesome and her stuff is awesome. But then I also have blocks from Adidas and Sweaty Betty and Yoga Mad, so I'm open to all types of blocks. So the ways in which you can use these, they are amazing to find a bit of an arm lengthener. So for example, if you go down into triangle, which is Trikonasana, if you don't want to put loads and loads of weight onto the leg or something like that, maybe you can use a block. It's amazing for revolved triangle because again, a lot of us just don't have the bodies to be able to find that twist. For example, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, another posture, another standing posture at least, which is amazing to use blocks for. When it comes to sitting down, what I love to see is people knowing that when they come to a comfortable seated position, that actually they're a lot more comfortable if they just sit up a little bit higher. It tilts the pelvis, it means the knees can be a little bit lower, and they can sit with a much straighter spine. And I love seeing that in my classes. People just intuitively thinking, I need a block here. Another one that blocks are really good for is core work. So if you want to work on that core and you want to work on those presses, you can always have a little bit of an arm lengthener. If you've got long arms anyway, then I'd say just use without the block. But if you feel that you really need a block, then this is a really good place to be as long as you're working into the core. So there's just a few ideas on how to use blocks or bricks, and yeah, like I say, the possibilities are endless. These are just the ones that I use, and I'm going to link to them below, so if you want to get them. And I think they're like £10 each. So if you do practice yoga at home quite a lot, then I think that they are really worth investing in. Yeah, so go for it. Go block yourself out. Hey, see what I did there? Anyway, so the next thing I want to chat to you about is my straps. Again, I have a couple, lots of brands do them, I will link below, but again, really, really great. Straps are amazing for binding, so you know if you're in even like a seated posture and you come down, you want to bind, but you can't quite find that reach, that length, why not try it with a strap? And then come down into the posture, and then gradually you can just bring the arms closer together. Really good way of doing it. Also standing, taking it around the foot, and when you're standing up and you've got the leg out long, Having a strap means that you can focus on keeping the spine long rather than trying to reach for the leg and either having the leg bent or the spine hunched over. So again, really, really great one to have. And again, I think like maybe 8 to 12 pounds for a strap, worth investing in. And I recommend as well, when you go to yoga classes, the majority of studios have all of these props. So at the beginning of the class, just go and grab yourself 2 blocks, a strap, and then you know that if you need them throughout the class, they're just there waiting for you. And there is no shame in doing that. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Knowing your body and using props is extremely, extremely good. Okay, so my favourite, the Bolster. I do love a bolster. I use the bolster mainly for my relaxation. You can use them in yin postures a lot. For me though, there are 2 things that I do mainly, and you'll see these if you do any of my yoga flows. I bring the bolster behind me, I open out the knees, and I lay back. Oh, I might talk to you from here now. So I really, really enjoy this position. It feels really, really good on my spine. My heart's lifted, but I'm totally relaxed and it's really nice and soft. The other one is when I'm lying down, because I've had a few lower back problems in the past, is to put it under my knees when I'm in Shavasana. So that, oh, the yoga wheel is escaping from me. But again, so in Shavasana, just that slight lift in the knees helps tilt the pelvis, which then helps let the lower spine, just the lumbar spine, relax down into the mat, and I can enjoy my Shavasana so much more. So there you have it. That is my love, my bolster, and this one is from Yoga Mad, and yeah, like I said, I will link to them all below. So let's get that escaped yoga wheel. This is one of the, I guess, more modern and more popular yoga props. You see them a lot in fancy pictures on Instagram. For me, this is great as a heart opener. I haven't actually used this for quite a few weeks actually, but normally, with a lot of my clients as well, I do a sort of 5-minute, which sounds a really long time, but in a yin capacity, and I just get them to open up over the yoga wheel, or you can take it a bit deeper. So in my own practice, I then go through the thoracic spine and then work through it there. Other things, you can sort of hold on to them to work on Pincha Mayurasana, although I think that that's more something that looks a bit fancy rather than actually being overly useful. But one that I really like is placing my feet on top of it and then lifting up my bottom and working through the shoulders and through the core. Breathing here, this is really tough, and you can maybe do some little rocks, forwards and backwards. This is a really good workout. So yeah, that's what I use my yoga wheel for, and yes, mine is from Yogi Bear. Again, I'm not actually too sure on price of these. I think they're maybe about £30. So again, really reasonable if you do practice a lot at home. And some studios have these, but not a huge amount have them. I haven't seen many people incorporate yoga wheels into classes, but then there's probably ones out there. But if you guys would like me to do a flow, maybe using the yoga wheel, then do comment below and let me know, because I have had a few questions about it. I'm just not sure how popular it will be. So always let me know if that's for you and I can think about filming it. Okay, so last one is a blanket, and this can be any blanket. I have just picked this one because it's from Yogi Bear and because it's designed for yoga. But ultimately, when you're in Shavasana or when you need a bit of extra padding, you can basically use whatever you like, can't you? You can grab yourself a towel, but it's really, really nice just to have in Shavasana. I think a lot of the time when we do yoga at home, and I know this because I am a culprit of doing this, but we tend to forget our relaxation. Unless maybe you're following a video, but I'm doing like my flow and then I'm like, right, I'm done, and I wander off. And forget sometimes the importance of the Shavasana, because without that, we're not grounding back down, we're not rooting down into the earth, and we're not being reborn, as it were, to set our intentions and to continue about our day. So grab yourself a blanket. Your Shavasana will be a lot more delightful with a blanket and a bolster. So yeah, I can't recommend those enough. So they are my yoga props. They are the ones that I use the most. I know that there are many more out there, but these are the ones for me. And yes, if you guys want me to also do a video about your different yoga mats, then I can do that. I have done a blog post on yoga mats, which I'll link to below. But if you would like a video, then of course I can chat you through the yoga mats that I love and yeah, why I use them and why I love them. But for now, these are my props. I'm trying to do something funky. Ow, that was really heavy. That was really stupid of me. I'm just going to sit here sensibly with my yoga wheel and smile and wave goodbye to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.